Okay, the wind is just howling outside, so can't really do any yard work. So I decided that I'm going to take apart my air bearing and clean it up. I haven't done that since last time I used it. It's been sitting on the shelf, and when they get dirty, they don't work very well. They don't. The dirt doesn't allow it to slide and perform the way it's supposed to. And I've had questions about it, so I'm going to take and tear it all apart, kind of explain everything, try to explain everything anyway. I'm going to set the camera up over here. Let me back up a little bit, and then got it on my surface plate. What I should do is when I store it, I think what I'm going to do is get a bucket that fits over it so that it keeps some of the dirt and dust and crap off of it. But anyway, this is it. When you're using it, you flip the lever forward. It'll move the cutter into the wheel. Flip it back. It'll pull it away, so then you can index. Anyway, I'm going to take and pull. I'll pull the spindle out first. It's got these little clamps on it. Set screw there. You need to take and turn that set screw down. Turn that down below. And pull that out. Okay. You can see how much dust and dirt is on it. I'm going to, I got alcohol right here. I'm going to wash everything down with, wipe everything down with alcohol. This is the air inlet here. I'll leave that on. I don't need to really take that off. Just need to take these screws loose. Not sure what size they are. I don't think I can get in there anyway. I'll have to use a open end wrench, which looks like I forget my smallest open end. Should have had these tools laid out over here. Too big. This one will work. And all these are just saddle clamps to hold the main block, the air bearing block in place. I don't know if I need to take it all the way loose or if I can slide it out after. Oh, I won't be able to slide it out anyway. I'm going to have to take it all the way out. That's okay. I wanted to take it all apart and clean it all out anyway. Clean it up. I've still got that nasty cough. I've had that for, well, since the week that I retired. 4 weeks now. But yeah, it's horrible outside right now. The wind is just 30-some mile an hour wind. So, ain't going to be doing much outside. So, figured I'd do this to keep me busy. Oh, I'm going to get a little container to put these bolts in. Don't want to lose anything. And I think I'm going to write on your back just in case. Just in case, I don't think they're different. I think they're the same. But with my luck, I'm just going to put on your back. Just scratching on the top here. That way I know that's the back one. Trying to kind of hurry up so I don't have a mile long. Well, I could try to fast time this stuff, but I mean, like I say, that's all that is just a saddle clamp to hold this in place. Hold the main block. This is the main block for the air bearing part. This unit has worked really well, and I'm in the process of building a little carbide grinder, and I ordered I actually ordered some cross slides that I'm going to try to build a little unit to so I don't have to go over on my mill to sharpen my end mills, because right now I've been using my mill and I really don't like doing that. I cover everything up with plastic so the grit don't get in anything, but still I don't like doing it that way. You can see the dike I'm on that one yet. This is fitting snug on here. It just okay. Let's see if I can wipe this off a little bit here. Like I say, I'm going to wipe down the parts that need to be really clean, and that's in the inside here. It does need to be really clean. All right, so I'm going to see if I can get a shot here, but you can see, if you see, look in the inside there, you can see a groove running around the diameter. That groove is I can't remember how deep it is, but if you look in the plans in the book, it's there. And there's a plug right here in the end. That hole goes all the way across, all the way through. And then there's two plugs here. They go in and they intersect the groove in here. There's a groove here that's about that far back, and the same thing on the other side, right in line with these two plugs. They're plugged. The air fitting goes in and intersects that cross hole line, or this cross hole. So now this is connected into this. It's like a tree here, going into the grooves. It's you can make it out of whatever stock you want. I made mine out of, this is actually heat treated stainless steel that I made mine out of. Then this is the most critical part right here, and the spindle itself. There cannot be any taper or damn little, and out around this is not acceptable either. So what I did was I set it up in a 4-jaw, and I bored it, got it really close, loosened the 4-jaw, just barely clamped it so that I didn't put any pressure on it. And I made, I don't know how many cuts back and forth. I made free passes in there to get all of everything out of, every bit of taper that I could get out of it. And then what I did, once I had it running nice and true and straight, I used some polishing rouge, and I made myself, basically what I did was I took a wooden dowel or a wooden plug, and I turned it to the size, and I loaded it with that jeweler's rouge, and then ran that in here just to make sure that everything. And then I went and checked, make sure that I didn't have any outer roundness or taper, and it's I think it's within about 2/10. So it took a lot. This took the most effort. This block right here. So I'm gonna lay that over here. I don't want to end up throwing it on the floor now either. And like I say, I haven't had this apart since I built it. Okay, I'll take this. And this is just a finger that that indexes the flutes. all it is a piece of, I did have a different finger on there, but then I went ahead and it's actually, I can't remember what you call them now. I have one laying here. It's the blade out of one of these, a carpet knife, and that, I just took the blade, put a hole in it, so, and basically it's sitting like that, rounded that finger, or sitting like that, and I ground it. But anyway, that's what that is. It's just a guide, and it's adjustable. You can loosen it and adjust it up and down. So it's fully adjustable. I can adjust it this way, I can adjust it up and down, I can twist it, I can turn it. That's basically, it's like I say, it guides the flutes of the end mill. Okay. Now, inside there's a pocket here, and inside this pocket, there's a screw and a spring. And it's a spring, and that's what basically holds this whole thing together. It's basically just a spring and a washer and the bolt. Now I should be able to lift this right off, and you can see I got another washer in here, and you can see here now all it is just a square block, and it has these bushings in here. And these are actually dowel liners, bullet nose dowel liners, and I don't know if it's necessary, but I went through the process and I put the balls in just like I did here, and set the height of those so that they are set with that ball in here. They're set, you know, straight with the world. They're not, one's not higher than the other. And that's the same thing here. It's set so that this line across the top of these parallel to the surface, to the bottom of the. Now, like I say, I don't know, it probably wouldn't have been necessary, because even if it was at an angle, it would still work. But I went a little bit of extra to. Okay, then this is the mechanism for moving it up and down. You know, it's just a pin on a cam. I'll take that out also, if I can remember how that goes in there. Oh yeah, I just lift this pin up. All this is a dowel. It's just a dowel pin. And I got a lot of dowel pins too. Will come with a flat side and a rounded side. I use the rounded side to ride on the cam in the inside. And all that cam is, just a shaft with a flat on it. So when the pin is down in the flat, you know, it's down, and flip it and it goes up. And that's a hardened drill blank. It's not cold roll steel or a dowel. It's actually a drill blank. So anyway, and then these two dowels are just stops for the lever, so that it just pretty much got it all tore apart now, so now I'm going to take and clean everything up. I probably won't video that. I'll video it when I get them all cleaned, when I get everything all cleaned up and start putting it back together. Oh, spindle. Same thing goes for the spindle as far as taper. Got to be round, can't have no taper in it. And what I did was I put it between centers and I dialed in my tailstock so that I had absolutely no taper, and did free pass after free pass across it to get it to where it has no taper in it. You really can't use emery paper to try to, you can't sneak up on it and use emery paper and get it right, because when you try to emery paper something down, you're not going to get it exactly round. It's actually going to be a little bit out of round. So anyway, that and what it is this has got a 3/8 hole in it for any end mills with 3/8 shanks, and then this side's got split bushing in it, if I can get it out. It's got several bushings in it that are split, so that I can get oh, it was split, now it's really split. I broke it because what I did was I left just a little bit of, but that's okay. I don't hardly ever, I sharpen half inchers and less, so. But anyway, that needs to be all cleaned up really good too. Even fingerprints on this will affect how it performs. So when you're using it, you don't want to have greasy or dirty hands. You want to have nice clean hands when you're working on it with it. Alright, so anyway, that's the tear down of it. I'm going to go ahead and, like I say, wash and clean everything up. I got some alcohol, I got some acetone also, and I'm going to get everything all cleaned up. And when I get it all cleaned up and start putting it together, I will come back. Okay, I wiped everything down with some acetone, and I was just going to mention what the materials are, but this is the bottom base of it. I cut a slot in here in case I want to put it in on pins. I just bolt it down, but it's aluminum. It's just an aluminum block, 2 holes here that with bullet nose dowel liners. You could use almost anything you wanted in there. It wouldn't even really have to be hardened. You could probably just get away with a countersink and putting the balls on top of a countersink, but that's what I done. The handle, this was drill blank, and it's pressed into a little hub, and then the handle, just nothing spectacular. So I'm going to slide this back in. I'm going to put these 2 stop pins in. If I can get them to stay in there now. Okay. And this is the pusher pin to push it up and down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dab of the high pressure lube into that. I don't know if that's necessary, but I do want that cam to have some kind of lubrication. I just put a little dab of high pressure lube in it. And slide that in. Wipe that off there. Anywhere you have and the dust can get at it if you leave some grease or oil on it. It's going to definitely collect the dust and the grit, so you don't want to. And then the balls, put them in there, there. Okay, so then we're up to this, and this is the same thing. Notice I didn't get the pocket very well. This is the same thing, it's just an aluminum block, and it has the hole going through for the finger for the to guide. It's got the holes for the clamping, the little horseshoes to clamp the block on top. These holes here go through. Oh, that's never, those holes could have been left out because that was in a prior plan, and then I changed it. So these holes aren't being used. The only hole that's being used are those two for the balls, and then this one for the spring. And this hole here, and it's an aluminum block again, and I pressed a hardened little disc in here for that cammed pin to ride on. So, and then the same thing, it's got the bullet nose dowels, bullet nose dowel liners. So we'll just get that lined up. Okay, it's sitting on the two balls and the pin. So now I got a washer that goes in here and bolt in the spring. If I can get it in there. Like I say, I haven't had this apart since sharpening end mills, and I've sharpened quite a few end mills, and it's worked like a champ. It really works nice. So the plans in that book, you know, that was my starting point. It's not exactly the way the plans are called out, but it works. It works for me. Because when you, well, I'll explain it when I get it all back together. Okay, so now we'll put this back on. And this could actually go either way. Now it can't either, because if I put it this way, then my lever would hit the air supply. And this one's the front. And this one is the back. Screws. Wind isn't supposed to stop until 8 o'clock tonight, so it's unbelievable how windy it is out here. I got pine trees that I'm trying to keep watered because it was an awful dry spring so far, and been watering them, and now this wind isn't going to help them any. They got 100 and just about 200 pine trees that where's my wrench? Oh, I'm looking for my wrench. Okay, I don't tighten it up too tight yet. Get the side started. Like I say, this just clamps that block down so it doesn't move around. I've been running this with, I believe, like 5 to 10, something like that, of air pressure. So it doesn't need a lot. If you go too much air pressure, it doesn't work. If you go too little, you have a little bit of drag. You can tell when you hit the. So I just use a pressure regulator to knock down the pressure from the compressor. And it surprisingly doesn't use a whole lot of air. You'd think that it would be really, my air compressor would be kicking in constantly, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't use a lot of air. Not much more than an air nozzle leaking. So, because I know I had some comments about, oh, that must use a lot of air, but it doesn't. It does not use a lot of air. If I'd have been smart, I would have moved them holes out so I could get a socket in there. They're a little too close to the back. Wasn't thinking there, I guess. I worked, what was it? about 25 years in the tool shop until I blew out 3 discs in my neck, and I was paralyzed basically on the left-hand side. And they did what they call a leptectomy, anyway, they went in and clipped the blown out discs away from my spine, and I regained my left hand movement. It's not as strong as it used to be, but so then when I went back to work after, I think it was like 6 months off, I couldn't take tool shop anymore. And at that time there was an opening for a tool designer. So, and I didn't know anything about the software, CAD software. I did a lot of programming in the tool shop, so I knew how to mess around with models and use models and stuff. But so anyway, I went into the tool design and worked there until I retired here. So, but anyway, that's. So I'm gonna get the regulator out here. I just got a old regulator here. I don't know what it's set at. I'm just gonna hang it on there. I normally don't hang it on there like that. I put a hose on it. Let's see what we got here. I might have to get the hose anyway, otherwise it's going to tip it over. And that was set at 10 pounds there. And I don't want it that high. I got a curly Q hose over here. Curly Q hose that I actually don't like using these stupid hoses. I'd rather have a hose. Okay, so I'm going to turn it down. Now we're down about maybe just a couple pounds, and you can hear it hissing away. We'll put one of these on the back side. One on the front side. Tighten those up. They don't have to be tight, they just got to be just a little snug. Now, turn it up a little bit. It almost feels like I got some grit or something on there that. I need to wipe it down because it's definitely. So I'm gonna take just a napkin, if I can find one, napkin or piece of paper towel. I thought I had some napkins in the drawer here. Oh, here we go. Just gonna take it, get some alcohol on here and wipe it down a little bit. That's why I say handling it. I think I got too much air pressure now. All right. I guess I'm going to take it apart here again and wipe out in here. I have some grit or something or some dirt in there because I can feel it. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Wonder, you know what? It could have been dirt in there and I just blew it in. I never thought of that. Yeah, could very easily been what's going on. Put this up. I'm gonna wipe this down too. Got to be super clean, that's for sure. You can see right there, it hangs up, boink, right there. Right back in here somewhere. Because if I set this out here, piece of Kleenex there. Okay. Yeah. There must be some little bit of dirt there, but it's actually pretty damn good though. You're sliding with an end mill. And like I say, you have to mess around with the air pressure a little bit. But you can hear that how much air is it using? Not much. So I'm going to take it. Like I say, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I say, get a bucket, go to Menards and get a bucket and set over it. See, now if I turn this pressure way up, actually it's still, usually it, yeah, like that. You can see that's too much air pressure now. Now if I crank it way down again, you can get I'm down to like nothing now. Okay, so enough of that. Anyway. Put this back away. My curly Q hose over here. So, I'm gonna loosen this up, move it back. So, I don't know. Oh, another thing too is with it in the lock position, I have the center line height scribed on the top here, so I know where that's at. So that when you have your wheel, let's see if I can explain it. Get a wheel out here. So if you have your wheel and you know where the center line height of the wheel is, on the primary you want to come down below so that, I can't remember at what angle, but what you do is you set up you have your wheel on your grinder or grinder attachment or whatever, and you take, and I have a protractor here, kind of wore off. You can see I had a mark here. It's not set now, but there's a mark on here on this protractor. What I did was I set it at my primary angle that I wanted. You know, I set it at the primary angle I wanted, set it down, and be like that. You know, depending on what angle you want to set your primary at. Because you got a primary relief and a secondary relief on your cutters. And when I go to sharpen them, I'll sharpen just the primary. Unless the primary land gets too wide, then I'll come back and set it and do a secondary. But anyway, you have this set at your primary angle. You got your center line scribed here. That's the center line height of this, of your spindle. You got your wheel over on whatever setup you have. You come over and you move your table or the wheel up and down until the point of contact is on your scribe mark, and that'll set your primary angle for the cutter. Let's get a cutter here. Hope I set screw and turn way in. Back that out. Okay. And you're over here like this too. That's something else I need to mention. You're over on this side over here on the downhill side, and you have your finger set up here. Let's put it together. No, I was telling you wrong here. No, I'm not. Because you set your finger on here, and tighten that up. Oh, didn't put that screw back in yet. And we'll tighten that up. Okay, so now you got your finger here, and you want to set it so that the flutes are parallel across. So just like that. Okay, I gotta loosen that screw up. Wrong one. Actually. It works better when everything's all bolted down. But you crank this up until the flutes are level, or damn close anyway. And I usually take a height stand over there and on the first end mill and get it set right. Okay, so assuming that would be set right, and you set this already so that the wheel is the right height. So your wheel is like this and it's spinning that way, so it's pulling it down, and then and what you do is you have your fingers set so that it's just behind the wheel here, so that you're engaged. But you pull the handle up, brings it in, and you always want to start up at the top when you're grinding, at the top of the end mill, not at the end. So your wheel is sitting here, bring it in, touch, and then bring it out, and it should drop off the wheel, because the edge of that wheel is going to be right with the finger, right with the edge of the finger. So it's just a matter of, without air on us a little bit. I hope I'm coming across so you understand what's going on here, but I see that this was supposed to be a short screw, because this has to go that way to drop it back down. This has got to be a short screw. I don't know why I had a long screw in there. It should not be a long, a short one. And now I can't find any right now. Ah, crap. There's a shorter one. I don't know if that's short enough yet or not. Yep. So it should be a short screw in there, because when you tighten that and lock it, you got to be able to bring the wheel all the way, or tilt it into the wheel. But anyway, it's all a matter of setting the proper height to get the right relief on your wheel, because what's happening is, if you set it right at the top here, you're not going to get much relief, but as you go down you get more and more relief, and then when you get down here, naturally you got more relief yet. So when you're putting you're putting your primary on, you probably set it right about there, and when you put your secondary on, you probably set the height back down to there, and then you'll end up with a nice sharp end mill. The only thing I haven't done yet is, and I plan on doing that when I get this setup done that I'm working on, sharpening the ends also. Right now I just go over and I kind of hand sharpen them on the ones that are really, really bad, really dull. I put my CBN wheel away before I break it. You can use that kind of wheel, or you can also use this wheel, and put it right, like I say, right at the edge. Maybe like this. Yeah, this one you would end up tipping. You could use it this way though too. I have always used that other wheel. And I built a spindle for the wheels to fit on so that they run nice and true. The spindle works good, so. But yeah, I'll probably have to cut a lot of this out of the video. But anyway, it's all cleaned up now again. It's ready to actually be used. I don't know when the next time I'm going to sharpen end mills. I do have a few dull. So, matter of fact, this one here, it's got a big chip on the end of it. But like I say, it's saved. If you look at the price of end mills, and if you didn't sharpen them and you just threw them away, it saved me a ton of money already. It works, like I say, it works really well. It's well worth your time and your effort to go and build this. As far as on the mill, I just put a clamp on my ram, up on my ram. If you've watched me sharpen end mills, you'll see that I clamp the wheel and or the grinder up on the mill itself, and then sharpen my end mills. So. But yeah, I'm working on a couple grinder setups here, and basically it's going to be like that, and then I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to attach it yet, but I'll work through it. I'm gonna cover this up with plastic or something. I don't want to leave it just sit out there and get dusty and dirty, and you know, the crap flying around in the air. And throwing a rag over it doesn't help a whole lot. Matter of fact, doesn't help anything. So, anyway, I think that's going to be it. I'd like to go outside and do some yard work because I do have some things I wanted to get done, but got gardening that I tilled my garden yesterday, and for I think it was the second or third time. I usually till about 2 or 3 times before I plant anything. And I usually have my peas already planted by now, and haven't gotten those planted either. Cleaned up my water garden. That was a job. But like I say, today is way too windy. I don't like. It feels more like 60 mile an hour wind instead of 30, and it's really howling. So anyway, I hope that that helps you understand how this thing works. It works really well. I would suggest buying. Okay, now I can't remember the name of the book, but it's available. The book is available in PDF form online also. That's what I did. I bought it in PDF form, so it has a lot of good info in it. Let's see if I had the book out here for that thing, if I can remember. What I did with it. That's for work. Work? No. Geometric tolerancing and dimensioning book. I don't need that anymore. My days of worrying about geometric tolerancing and just are numbered. I do not need that. So I don't know what I done with it. I know I had it out here when I was working sharpening end mills, because I had forgot at what angle the primary and secondary. And as a matter of fact, I still don't remember it off without looking in the book. 3 degrees, 3 degrees and 8. I don't know. I'm trying to remember where I laid it, but I don't know where I laid it. So anyway, that's going to be it for now. And like I say, I hope this helps you out. Get the book. That'll definitely help you out a lot. This isn't going to be what's in the book, because I made it pretty much different than I used their concept, but because they're using square tubing and I didn't use any of that, I used mine. I hogged it out and did it that way. But I could have went ahead and did it with square tubing and the way it's in the book. Actually, in the book would actually be probably a little bit easier than the way I did it. I did it the hard way, I guess. But, you know, got to do it my way, you know. So